Kalau dulu kita main pukul, pertama itu datang kita main pukul, itu kan darah banyak. Di sini kan darah banyak ini kan. Jadi karena terlalu banyak darah itu kan bersihnya kan bau, ya kan. Jadi cara untuk jangan keluar darah itu inilah pakai sistem ini. Ya, saya peragakan boleh kan.
Joshua Oppenheimer's astonishing documentary unearths the elderly members of the Indonesian death squads and then has them make movies about what they did when they were young and headstrong and knee-deep in blood. The result is a terrifying, giddying burlesque of atrocity, a hellish musical review in which the victims thank the killers and Born Free plays out on the soundtrack.
Inilah caranya supaya jangan darah itu terlalu banyak, tahu kan?
Catherine, I think this is one of the oddest, most purely disturbing films I've seen all year.
Yeah, I agree. I saw it last year in Toronto, in one of those festival moments where you're sort of seeing 4 films a day and you're sort of by yourself and you have no idea what's going on anymore. And then suddenly this film full of the most extraordinary, not only scenes, but moments of scenes that you've ever seen, it just leaps out at you. It is absolutely mind-boggling and compelling, and every frame is amazing. And you know, you go into a documentary like this expecting something conventional, expecting the survivor's eyes or the victim's eyes, but in fact, of course, these guys hoist themselves way more spectacularly, way more horrifically than anything like that would ever do. No, it just came out of nowhere, didn't it? And it is just amazing.
The implications, Peter, are electrifying, isn't it? It's that weird thing of history being written by the winners, but there's a sense that it's almost not history or it's not real until they recast it with themselves in it. But is that a lie, or is there some kind of weird social relevance to that
What
process?
I found so fascinating is that the 1960s, the 65 military coup, that's something which isn't taught in schools here. The General Suharto's the coup from which he derived so much benefit, and indeed the interest of Harold Wilson and Lyndon B. Johnson, all those things. It's not taught about here. And there's clearly, in the 40 or 50 years since then, there's been no upheaval and reassessment in Indonesia. There's been no Truth and Reconciliation Commission there. All these gangsters, they're interviewed and they are utterly unrepentant, utterly unself-conscious about it. It's not that they're not kind of thinking, well, you know, okay, there were bad things that happened, but we did it because we wanted to prevent a greater ill, which is turning Indonesia into a massive Soviet gulag, which they could have said, but they were as innocent as children about what actually is the view of the outside world. And that is mind-boggling enough for me. If they were just to find these old guys and to interview them and to listen to them chattering away about how great it was, that would have been mind-boggling enough on its own. But to get them to reenact their crimes in the style of their favourite movie genres, I was absolutely gobsmacked. I had to pick my jaw up off the cinema floor. What an extraordinary thing.
There's so many surreal moments in this film. I'm thinking of the musical interlude by the waterfall with Born Free playing. But almost the weirdest one for me was when they go on the sort of daytime chat show, where suddenly you think the whole country's under this delusion, where you've got this kind of perky presenter saying, God hates communists and that's what makes this movie so beautiful. And you just think, well, they're all doomed then, aren't they?
I think that's one of the interesting things about it, is that it's not a sanctimonious sort of correction of history. In any way, it's an amazingly entertaining, in some awful way, film to watch. It's not your conventional documentary at all. It's full of vivacity, life, song, drama, music. You know, it's full of all that, and it's got these amazing relationships between these people. The relationship between Anwar and his cross-dressing best friend Herman is so sort of gobsmacking in and of itself.
He was a very fetching mitre at one point.
It's gorgeous.
A hot pink mitre. He looks a treat.
And so it is, you know, it's full of all this extraordinary stuff. I mean, it's important to emphasise, I think, how fun in a horrible way this really is.
It's true. This isn't roughage, is it? This is absolute sort of flamboyant, almost sort of Guy Madden style approach to it.
Udah bagus, cuman jangan lama kali nanya.